Hi, we will be doing our session on factorising, covering some basic factorisation skills. But before we do, I have a guest presenter who would like to teach you something.
Okay, I'm going to teach you a very important mathematical concept. It is 1 plus 1 equals something. Now, you need to listen carefully. Take notes if that's going to be something that will help you. First, we have 1, and then we have another 1.
Just click the back. Just click anything.
Oh, we've changed colours. Okay, doesn't matter. And we put the 1 in there, like that, the plus. And then the equals goes over the top, like that. And 1 plus 1 equals Windows. And now we all know that Windows is much better than Apple. See, so you go like that with Apple and you end up with a wonderful Windows. That's the end of the lesson. Thank you.
Okay, so back to factorising. We have to remember that factorising is the opposite to expanding. And expanding is where we have something like this, where we can see brackets and we have to expand the brackets using the distributive law. Now, if you remember, in between the bracket and this expression here, there is a times. And we know that we simply have to get whatever's on the outside and multiply it with everything on the inside. So I have a squared and b to the power of 5, so times b to the power of 5, and also I have to times my a to the power of 4. To show working out, you can use this in brackets, so we will have a squared b to the power of 5 times b to the power of 5 in one bracket. We've got a plus in the middle, so I put my plus there, and then we have a squared b to the power of 5 again, times a to the power of 4. Now, just squish that in. Now, you can do this mentally, but it is good to show working out, especially if it gets trickier and where you have a lot of negative numbers sometimes. So now in here, we simply have to make our times invisible. Before we do that, check and see if on both sides we have the same base, and we do. I can see I've got a b to the power of 5 here and a b to the power of 5 there. And using that first index law, if you have the same base and you're multiplying, you simply add the powers. Now a squared will stay the same because there is no a on this side here. So I have a squared, but now b to the power of 10. And my times is invisible. There's a plus there, so don't forget that plus. And now, once again, the same thing. I notice I have an a on this side and an a on that side. So 2 plus 4 is 6. And b to the power of 5, there's no b on this side, so it just stays b to the power of 5. And I'll just check if I can add these two terms together. I can't because they're not exactly the same. I've got an a squared here. I don't have an a squared there, so I can't add these. And that will be my final answer for expanding. But with factorising now, what if we were asked to go back, if we had this answer, to go back into the brackets? So what if, I'll just rub this out. So imagine we didn't have any of this, and the question asked us, can you please put this you can say expanding form where we have brackets. So I'll just write it out again. So you notice that we have our answer from before. So after we expanded, we've got our answer. So now the question is, can we factorise this and put it back into its brackets? Now, before I do this, I just want to go over the simplifying algebraic expressions in fraction form. So I'm going to be getting the exact same terms. Instead of plus, I'm putting it a division here, so over the vinculum. So a squared, b to the power of 10, and a to the power of 6, and b to the power of 5. Now, to factorise, you have to be good at simplifying fractions where there's algebra in there. Now, if you're not good at doing this, you have to go back and watch a lesson on this, because if you can't do this, you won't be able to factorise effectively. Now, to simplify this, we simply have to take out the highest factor of each number. In this case, there are no numbers, but of each base. So first of all, I've got my A here first, so I'll start with my A. I've got 2 A's on top and 6 on the bottom. So the highest factor I can take out, well, is my smallest amount, because I've only got 2 on top, so take away 2 from the top. Now, we know it's really a 1, so I'll show that 1. And 6 take away 2, I'm left with 4 A's, or A to the power of 4. So I'll just get this ready, and my leftover is A to the power of 4 on the bottom, and on top my leftover is 1. And I know that there is times in between everything, just to remind myself that. With my B's, I have 10 B's on top and I have 5 on the bottom, which means I can take away 5 because I have no more left on the bottom. It's a 1. And 10 take away 5, well, that's B to the power of 5. And that leftover is on top, so it must stay on top. Okay, so now I really have 1 times B. So the 1 doesn't have to be visible because I've got a B to the power of 5 on top. Okay, and that will be my final answer. Now with factorising, we are doing the exact same thing, except instead of having leftovers on top and bottom, our leftovers will be either on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. But the only different thing is with the highest common factors, you actually have to write them on the outside. So for example, the highest factors I took out for my A's, I said I can take away 2 A's. So I actually took out 2 A's, or I could say A squared. And for my B's, my highest amount of factors I could take out were 5 B's, or B to the power of 5. So when we factorise, the highest common factors have to be visible, and they stay on the outside of the brackets. And the leftovers, instead of top and bottom, they simply stay on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, depending on which side they were on. All right, so we'll factorise this one. Okay, so to factorise this, I'll just change my colour. The first step is you've got we can see we have 2 terms. So we'll get our brackets ready, leave some space, and a plus goes in the middle. That's our first step. Because to factorise, our answer has to have brackets somewhere. Now, I'm going to be taking out the highest common factor. Just like before when it was in fraction form. It's not in fraction form, but I'm doing the exact same thing. So now my first letter I see, well, it's an A, the first variable. I've got 6 A's on this side and 4 A's on that side. So once again, I can only take out 4 A's because I've only got 4 A's on this side. So take out 4 A's. It's gone from there. It's really a 1. But 6 take away 4. That's A squared, or A to the power of 2. But now I must show what A's I took out. And how many A's did I take out? I took out 4 A's. But it must go on the outside. So there's my highest common factors being placed on the outside, and leftovers stay on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So on this side, I've got leftover A squared, or 2 A's. Here, I've just got a 1. I'll write that 1 just in case I have no other leftovers on this side, but a 1. But it might be invisible. Now, next one, we've got B's. So 5 B's on this side, 10 B's on that side. Well, the maximum I can take out is 5 B's. So I can take out the highest common factor, which is B to the power of 5, or 5 B's. It's gone from there. It's really a 1. But 10 take away 5 is B to the power of 5. And I can see it's on this side, my right-hand side. So I put it on my right-hand side. And that 1, I will make it invisible. I don't need it there, because I've got B to the power of 5 there. And that's it. We have factorised it. There's nothing else that we can take out. Let's do a double check. And remember, it's the opposite to expanding. So if I expanded this, if I went that times that and that times that, I will get the same answer I started off with on top here, just like we did before. So we'll do some questions from this worksheet. And in this box here, you can see you've been given expressions, and you've been asked to, in this box here, in this section here, write down the highest common factors and if any leftovers, or the leftovers. So if we have a look, we've got APE or APE on this side, and we have BAT. So what I can take out is, from this side, I can see I've got a 1A on this side and 1A on that side. So the highest common factor, you would have put an A in here. And actually, I'll just write it down. Okay, so I'll just be doing these three here so you can get the hang of it. So once again, we've got APE and BAT. So I can take out an A from both sides. So the highest common factor is an A. Now, P, do I have a P on this side? No, I don't, so I can't take it out. So it will be a leftover. Now, with your leftovers, I know there's the word and there, but I've put a plus instead, which sort of means and I should have, it's probably better to have that anyway. So the P will be a leftover on this side. So if it helps, cross off whatever you've used. I've used my P. E, do I have an E on this side I can take out? No, I don't. So the E stays on this side next to the P. On this side, I've got a B. There's nothing else on this side, so the B's are left over there. And of course, my T. And that would be my final answer. So the only factor I could take out was an A, and the rest stays inside as a leftover. Now, this one here, starting with your numbers, we've got 8 and 4. The highest factor of 8 and 4 is, I guess, dividing by 4. So the highest factor would be a 4 that I'm taking out. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now check the variables. I've got an A on this side. Yes, I have an A on that side. So that can go, which is just a 1 and 1 there as well. So I've taken out the highest factor, common factor, which is an A. Now, see how I've ended up with no leftovers? Don't forget there's really a 1, okay? So I'll put my plus there. So I have a 1 on this side here. We'll keep going. Now, because I've got nothing else left here, so I can see how I've got 1 times 1, which is 1. But on this side now, I've got my C and E. So my C and E are leftovers on this side. Okay, and that would be our answer. So really, we are actually factorizing this. Imagine I put brackets around this, and that was on the outside. This one down here, once again, 8 and 4. Well, the highest factor is 4 for the numbers. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I put my plus to get it ready. So leftover so far is 2. Oh, that's right. I forgot to put the 2 here. I'm sorry. Over here, we should have had a 2 there because the 2 was leftover. So my leftover is a 2 on this side. Then I've got 2 H's here and 4 H's there. So I can take out 2 H's. My smallest amount, it's a 1. So the highest factor I took out was H squared, or 2 H's. And then 4 take away 2 is H squared, but it's on this side. And they were my leftovers. So all you had to do was imagine you were factorizing this. Take out the highest common factors for your numbers and your variables. And any leftovers, they either stay on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. So now we will be factorizing the following expressions here. I'll expand some of them just to start us off, but expanding is something that you should be okay with now. So we'll factorize the following. Okay, so once again, we're factorizing this, which means we get our brackets ready. So my first step is get our brackets ready. And I can see I've got a plus, sorry, it's a funny plus, in the middle. Okay, and now all I got to do is take out the highest common factors, put them on the outside, and any leftovers stay on the inside. So starting with 4, do I have a number on this side that I can divide 4 with or take 4 out? No. So the 4 is a leftover and it stays on this side, its left-hand side. And cross it off because we've dealt with our 4. Now if I have a look, I've got a T on this side. Do I have any T's on that side? Yes, I do. I've got 1 T on this side and 1 T on that side. So that means I can take out 1 T. So I'm taking out 1 T. So straight away I'll write it out here. I've taken out 1 T as the highest common factor. Take away 1 from there, we're really left with a 1. Take away 1 from there, we're left with a 1. Now, you can see that I've got nothing left on this side but a 1. So you must write the 1 in here. It's a left 1. If you've got nothing else, 1 is the leftover and it stays, in this case, on the right-hand side. And just to check, because part of your worksheet asked you to check everything you have factorized by expanding your answer. If I expand this, I'll squeeze it up here. So if I have T, I'll just write add again, plus 1. And if I expand this, and we know what expand means, times everything on the outside of the bracket with everything on the inside of the bracket. I will have T times 4, which is 4T. I've got a plus there. And T times a 1 is just t. That's why that 1 is so important, because if I didn't have anything there, it'll really be 0, and that's wrong. And I've checked that 4t plus t, that's what I started off with, 4t plus t. That was my first question, and I have done it correctly. So I have factorized this expression here. Let's try B. So once again, we have two terms, so get your brackets ready, and we put a takeaway because we've got a takeaway there. Now, starting with your numbers, 14 and 7, what's the highest factor of 14 and 7, if there are any factors? I can't divide them by 2 because 2 isn't a factor of 7, but I think I can divide 7 by 7 and 14 by 7. So the highest factor is 7. Okay, so 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. And the leftover stays on this side. Okay, I'll put the 1 in here just in case I end up with nothing and I don't forget to write the 1. Next, I've got a G on this side and a G on that side. How many G's do I have? I've only got 1 G and 1 G, so I can only take out 1 G. That's my highest amount of G's I can take out. It's gone from there, it's really a 1. Gone from there, it's really a 1. And there's nothing else I can take out for my G's. Now, don't forget, please don't write a 1 here and to have 21. That is not saying 2 and 1. It is saying 2. What's in between 14 and G? Times. So it's saying 2 times 1, which is just 2. So please be very careful. And last of all, we've got a H sitting here. Do I have a H on this side? No. So I can't take out my H. So it's automatically a leftover. I've used it. It's on this side. So that 1 there, it's saying 1 times H. You can leave it there, but the proper answer would be to make it invisible. And I'm done. I've factorized that following expression. And to check by expanding, if I just wrote it here, 7G, and I've got bracket 2, take away H. Well, let's expand this and see what we get. 7G times 2 and 7G times H. What do I end up with? I end up with 14, because 7 times 2 is 14, and G just sits there, nothing else to times a G with. Take away 7G times H, that's just 7GH. And let's have a look, 14G, yep, and 7GH, we've done the right thing. Perfect. Let's see. Once again, we've got two terms, so get our brackets ready and a takeaway in the middle. All right, so starting with our numbers, if you're a bit confused on where to start off, always start with the first thing you see. In this case, I've got a 24, and check for any numbers on this side. Yes, I have a 12. And I know the highest factor of 24 and 12, I can divide them both by 12. So the highest factor I'm taking out is 12. 12 divided by 12, that's just 1. 24 divided by 12, that's 2. It's a leftover on the right-hand side, so it goes in the brackets. Next, I've got an M on this side. Let's check on the other side. Do I have any M's? No. So I can't take out my M, so it stays as a leftover on the left-hand side. So there we go. Next, I've got an A. Do I have any A's on this side? Yes, I do. I've got 1 A here. So the highest amount of A's I can take out is simply 1. Take away 1 from here, we're left with nothing, or really a 1. And take away 1 from there, we're left with a 1. Next, I've got 4 B's here and 2 B's there. So the highest amount I can take out are 2 B's, or B squared. There we go. So take away 2 from there, I'm just left with a 1. And 4 take away 2 leaves me with B squared. So B squared is a leftover on this side here. So far, all my leftovers have been on this left-hand side. I don't have any leftovers so far except for a 1. So I could write my 1 so I don't forget to. But I can see that I will end up with a leftover, and that is a H, because I've got a H on this side, nothing else on this side, no H's. So if I take it out, it has to be a leftover over here. And there I am. There I have it. And really, 1 times H is just H, so that 1 can be invisible. And that's our final answer. And once again, if we expand this, so 12AB squared times this 2MB squared will give me 24. Yep, 12 times 2 is 24. M, yep, A, and B squared times B squared is B to the power of 4. So you can see if you expand this, that times that, and that times that, we end up with what we started off with. Okay, so to factorize D, once again, I see I've got two terms, so my bracket, I'll get it ready. my brackets, take away in the middle, and I can see I've got 2 m's on this side and 1 m on that side. How many m's can I take out? I can only take out my smallest amount, which is 1 m. So the highest factor I'll be taking out is 1 m. 1 take away 1 is just nothing, or really a 1. And 2 take away 1, I'm left with an m, or m to the power of 1. And please write down your leftovers. I've got an m on this side and a 1 on that side, and that would be your final answer. And remember, as part of your homework, check m times m is m squared, m times 1 is m, and the negative, the takeaway, is still there. Alright, also I forgot to mention that F is the same as D, so I've crossed that off. And I can just rub this out now so I can have more room for my next question. So with this one, brackets ready and a takeaway in the middle. I have 2 terms, so 2 sections of leftovers, and let's go. Starting with our numbers, 4 and 2. Well, the highest factor of 4 and 2 is 2, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 is a leftover on this side, and 1 is a leftover on that side. Next, I've got G on this side. Any G's here? Yes, 2. So I've got 1 G there, 2 G's there. That means I can take out the smallest amount, which is 1 G. That's the factor I've taken out. It's really a 1 there. And 2 take away 1, I'm left with G, 1 G, or G to the power of 1. And last of all, I've got 2 M's here and an M on this side. I can take out 1 M from both sides. I'm left with nothing here, or really a 1. And 2 take away 1 leaves me with 1 M, or M to the power of 1. And it's a leftover on that side. And now, let's have a look and see. There's nothing else I can take out. My 1 can be invisible because I've got a G here. And that's my final answer. And once again, when you expand this, that times that and that times that, it should leave you with what you started off with. Next one, G. Once again, I've got 2 terms, so brackets ready and take away in the middle. Now, starting with my 3, I've got a 3 on this side. Do I have any numbers on this side? No, I don't. I know there's a 1 here, but I can't take out any factors. So the 3 is automatically a leftover inside the brackets on the left-hand side, and I've used it so I can cross it off. Now, I notice I've got 2 M's on this side and 2 M's on that side. So I can take out 2 M's, or M squared. Take out 2, leaves me with a 1. Take out 2, I have a 1. So please make sure you write your 1 on this side here. Okay? And you notice with this question, you might think, can I do this? Can I go 3 take away 1 in my brackets? You actually can, because if you notice with this question, even though it asked us to factorize, we could have actually also simplify this, because I know that 3m squared take away 1m squared would leave me with 2m squared. So this one here, I should have actually not had the exact same variables, like m squared and m squared, but we could still factorize it. Okay, so the last one we will be factorizing for this session is this one here. And it's starting to look, I guess, more complicated because it looks bigger, but it's actually just as easy as all the other ones. So first step, brackets ready, and a takeaway in the middle. Alright, so starting with our numbers, 12 and 12, well, I can see the highest factor I can take out is actually a 12. And 12 divided by 12 is 1. 12 divided by 12 is 1. And they are leftovers. I'll write them in just in case I have nothing else as a leftover. Next, A's on this side, yes, I've got 6. Here, I've got 10 A's. So how many A's can I take out? I can take out 6. So a to the power of 6. That's gone from there. It's really a 1. And 10 take away 6, I'm left with a to the power of 4. And this leftover is on this side here, the right-hand side, and it goes there. Next variable, I've got 2x's here, and I have 1x on this side. So I can take out 1x in total, which is my highest common factor. So I'll write that there. Now x, take away x is just nothing, or a 1. And x squared, take away an x, leaves me with 1x. Sorry, or 2x's, take away 1x is just an x. And it's on this side there. Almost done. With my y's, I have 3 y's here and 4 y's there. How many can I take out? I can only take out 3 from this side, and that's my highest amount. So the highest factor is y cubed. Take away 3 from there, I'm left with a 1. And 4 take away 3 is y, or y to the power of 1. And it's on this side here. Okay, and I've done it. Just to fix up my final answer, the 1 here can now be invisible. And 1 times x is just x. So that 1 can also be invisible. Okay, and we're done. And remember, please make sure you've got the right answer by expanding this. So that times that and that times that. It should give you what you have up here. And let's quickly do it. 12 times 1 is just 12. I've got nothing else on this side over here but an x. So a to the power of 6 will stay the same. X times x, I add their powers, which leaves me with x squared, or x to the power of 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2. And y to the power of 3, or y cubed, just stays the same. Take away, 12 times a 1 is just 12. A to the power of 6 times a to the power of 4, we add their powers, so 6 plus 4 is a to the power of 10. And x, no x's on this side, so the x stays the same. Y cubed times y, well, 3 plus that 1 is just y to the power of 4. So I've just expanded this, and let's see, do I have the exact same expression here to the one on top? Yes, I do. Okay, I can see it's exactly the same, so I have factorized this correctly. Now, the challenge questions I'll be doing on a different session in the challenge and putting them on the challenge group. Thank you.